Since the 7th of October attack on Israel by Hamas, there have been many pro-Palestinian demonstrations in which people have responded to what is called the Palestinian Narrative or Palestinian Story. That narrative was voiced again early in January by Palestinian National Initiative leader Mustafa Barghouti in a debate with journalist Douglas Murray and retired British Colonel Richard Kemp.
Because I think you don't see us white enough. And you are against anybody who's not white. And that's why you justify terrible atrocities that Israel is committing. And you are justifying not only the fact that Israel is occupying us, but the fact that Israel conducted the worst kind of ethnic cleansing in 1948, forcing 70% of the Palestinian people out of
I'm going to go back to Colonel Kemp.
These are the facts.
Mr. Barghouti claimed that it is fact that Israel forced 70% of the Palestinian people out. But he ignored the fact that many of the Palestinians left their homes voluntarily in 1948, acting upon the advice of their leaders. Those leaders had assured them they would be able to return home shortly after the forthcoming war against the Jews had been won. Here is Ambassador Dor Gold explaining how the Palestinian Authority President, Mahmoud Abbas, confirmed this.
Looking back historically, Abbas declared, quote, "Everyone started to speak in our name, in our absence. Therefore, we could do nothing. And you recall, if you remember that in 1948, when the Nakba, or catastrophe, took place, we weren't a party to it. We were taken out, and we were told after a week, we will return you." Elsewhere, he was even more explicit on this point. Back in March 1976, in the Palestinian publication Palestine al-Thawra, that came out in Beirut, he said that the Arab armies forced the Palestinians to emigrate and to leave their homeland. In other words, Abbas is saying that the Arab states caused the Palestinians to flee with the false promise that they would come back.
Back in the debate with Mustafa Barghouti, he went on to refer to the United Nations partition plan.
And let's go back to the United Nations resolution that established the state of Israel. It said that there should be two states, Israel and Palestine. Israel was created and Palestine was occupied. That is the reality.
This time, he claimed that the state of Palestine was occupied. But again, he ignored a crucial fact, that the Arabs rejected the United Nations plan for an Arab state, as confirmed in this documentary.
The UN proposed a partition plan which would divide the land into two states, Jewish Israel and Arab Palestine, while keeping Jerusalem a UN-controlled international zone. The votes came in. 33 countries approved, 13 countries voted against it, while 10 completely abstained from voting. And although the Arab states walked out as a form of protest, the partition plan was adopted.
A little later in that documentary, TRT World described what happened when the Jews went ahead with the plan that they had accepted and declared the formation of the State of Israel.
Israel officially declaring its independence triggered a tipping point. Arab forces from Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq marched to Palestine.
Those 5 Arab nations did not work well together.
Nevertheless, the armies of the Arab League launched an attack, and in just a few weeks, Israeli forces were surrounded, facing a possible defeat.
Far from it being a powerful Israeli army that invaded the land and forced the Palestinians out, the tiny, newly formed state of Israel came under attack from 5 Arab armies and faced defeat soon after its formation. So the Palestinian narrative omits 3 important facts: that many Palestinians left their homes on the advice of Arab leaders, the Arabs rejected having their own state alongside the State of Israel, and the initial attack came from 5 Arab armies against Israel rather than an Israeli army against the Arab peoples. Those omissions from the Palestinian narrative completely distort the historical facts.